use a hard coal, a bituminous coal. Okay, and the reason being is because it had less impurities in it, but it would also coke. Coke meaning that it would collect together. See how this is forming like burnt marshmallows?
Yeah.
It creates an oven which holds the heat in.
Yeah.
So that not only am I pumping more air into the fire, but I'm keeping the heat inside instead of it escaping out the top.
Yeah.
This definitely wasn't something for someone with no patience, because it's something it doesn't get done real quick.
So which is tougher to make, a spoon or a horseshoe?
Well, since I'm not a farrier, I wouldn't know that answer. I have to.
Blacksmith didn't make horseshoes? Oh, I'm getting into trouble here. I can tell.
All right.
Oh.
Little history lesson.
Oh, okay.
Early in the 1800s, the blacksmith guild decided that the blacksmith had too many jobs.
Oh no, early 1800s in the U.S.
No,
Europe.
In Europe.
Europe. Okay.
The guild, because
Okay.
that was where the guild
I gotcha.
seat was.
All right.
Decided that the blacksmith had too many jobs.
All right.
Because not only was he a blacksmith, which entails farm implements, home implements, some cooking implements. It also included gunsmithing.
Oh, wow.
It also would include armors, making armor. It included swords and cutlery.
So anything with metal.
Anything with metal.
Wow.
So the one of the first things that they separated out was the farrier. He was the one that made the shoes for horses, for oxen. He also doctored the animals. So he was like the vet.
Yeah.
So the trade of the blacksmith included all of these things.
Yes.
And so they started to separate them so that it was more individualized. So that the smith just wasn't so overworked.
Yeah.
I mean, in Europe, there were more smiths per area than there were typically out west. So some of those skills that were originally incorporated into smithing, the shoeing of animals and the doctoring of animals, still stayed with the smith to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first things that separated out.
No kidding.
The next thing that separated out was the gunsmith. And so that they started to separate the different trades within the trade.
Yeah.
And it made the job of the smith more manageable. But yet he still retained the knowledge of, so if you came to me with a gun, if it was a broken spring, I could still build the spring to repair it.
Okay.
But I might not necessarily be able to build the whole gun. I might have the knowledge, but I might not have the tools, because there's only so much you can carry on with a wagon and stuff. Typically a smith's anvil was actually larger than this. You know, I use this because it's easy enough for me to pour it around.
Yeah.
You don't want to pour it around, you know, a 300-pound anvil.
Yeah.
And typically a smith didn't travel. The very first traveling smith was actually with the Lewis and Clark team.
First.
The very first. And he was part of the army, and they had a special wagon that they made just for the smith. And that was the first one that was made.